I'm going to show you how to make a chunky knit beanie. You're going to need roughly half a roll of chunky knit yarn, jumbo size 7 in the chenille. So you're going to begin by leaving approximately a 15 centimeter tail or a 6-inch tail and create a slip knot. Now you want to make sure that your slip knot is approximately 3 fingers width apart in size. You want your foundation chain loops to be that 3 fingers width apart in size, otherwise the tension will become too tight around the head. Now, to know how many chain loops you want, it can vary. So a standard size could vary between 12 to 15 chain loops. It is a good idea to just chain on, say, 15 loops and then measure it around your head and see whether that's the correct size. So let's begin. 3 fingers width apart. I'm going to chain on 15 loops because I know that is the size of my head. So including the including your slip knot. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now I want my length to be 15 chain loops, so I'm going to chain on just 1 extra loop because this loop is going to be the first loop of my first row. I'm going to take my tail end of yarn and I'm going to pop it through that second to last loop to create a circle, and this is how that loop is now going to be loop 1. So for rows 1 through to 10, you're going to be knitting 15 loops in total for a total of 150 loops. So that's row 1. So this is loop 1 of row 1. You're going to be pulling up loops through these top loops of your foundation chain. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have 15 loops in total. You can always pop a stitch marker at the back of that last loop. That way it's just to mark the end of that row. So you're going to continue this process until you reach 150 loops, or at the end of row 10. So I'll just keep going and you can stay with me. You want to make sure that the loops here aren't overly big, but they're not also too small, because your tension can affect the way the beanie will end up sitting on your head. So you don't want to pull that working yarn too tight. You kind of want to allow for some stretch. That's row 2 done. So we've got 30 loops. So that's 45, it's the end of row 3. I'm just going to fold it now rather than keep it open. That way the loop gaps, or the gaps between each loops, won't be too loose. Okay, so that's 60 loops. Okay, 75 loops. So we now have 90 loops. Right, 105. So we have 2 more rows left. So that's what it's looking like. Now, as previously mentioned, it's going to kind of go below your ears. I like to keep my ears warm with beanie. So cut your working yarn, and you want quite a bit because you're just going to close up the top. So about 30 centimeters. So about 12 inches, and you're going to weave through the top of all those loops from inside out. A good idea is to bring the loops closer together and pull that working yarn gently as you go, just to avoid the yarn snapping at the end. So that's our top now, and you're just going to gently pull on that yarn to close up that top. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Secure that tail end of yarn to a side stitch by pulling it through and then bringing it through the loop, to create a knot. Tie a double knot, and then pull that working yarn through the top hole and inside the head. So here you can create another knot, and then you can just cut down at the base of that knot and leave that in there. So to secure the bottom part, so you're just securing that tail yarn there. Now what I'll do is just trim that and fuse that end onto the beanie. So I'll just take my lighter, burn the end, and just press it down into that yarn. So here we are, a cute and simple beanie. Thank you for joining me in this quick tutorial.